Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I saw Nikki pop in on the countdown, so I think he'll be here shortly again, and we'll have an episode with Nikki as well. But you know, another Friday here. Oh, let's see. I see him. Let's see. Oh. You ready? Hello.
Hey,
It's a long lost friend, Nikki. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I got to adjust my camera, but hey, everybody.
Okay.
Sorry I'm being a little late.
No, it's okay.
right on time.
Yeah. How you been, Nikki? How are things?
I've been doing good, doing a lot of traveling. How are you boys doing?
Oh, good.
Good. Not doing a lot of traveling, so that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love the background there, Dan. It's good to see you again. But man, it looks like Marvel Universe behind you.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I've got
is that a store or your house?
It's my office for when I actually got to sit in it most of the time. So now I'm going to probably repurpose this room, and then when I build out my theater room, I'll move a bunch of this stuff into there, make it like a Marvel movie room.
Nice.
Well, Keith, I always thought you had one of the coolest offices, but I think Dan's stepping in the ring to challenge you for the title.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's like I like seeing because when we chat, there's so many questions. Oh, what's that one? What's that one? What's the story behind that one?
Yeah. I feel deficient now with my office background just being our Cloud Foundry Weekly logo screen now. So I think I'm gonna have to.
I should step over here and get my latest edition, but you can't actually. Let me see if I can grab it. It's not in view.
Oh wow!
Oh,
very cool. Is that for a Halloween costume?
No, it's just another one of the artifacts, the replicas.
Nice.
See, I've got this intent behind me. I'm getting ready to build it. It's going to be Star Wars. I'm going to have some of my lightsabers back there, plus some of the old Xbox stuff. But man, you make me feel small, Dan. This is
no. This one sort of got out of control. So, like the movie room, it'll be a little more classy, right? You got to limit what's there.
I think the thing that everybody can take away from this is, as we all get older, we're having our best childhoods. The older we get, I mean, you look at Keith's, you look at Dan's, you got Nick's, data center in his house, right? Yeah. Our childhoods are best in our 40s and 50s and plus than they ever were when we were kids.
Yeah, and oddly, mine started. I had a house fire a couple of years ago. Like I didn't really collect Marvel stuff at all, and then had a house fire, and then after that started collecting Marvel stuff. So I don't know if it like scarred me and sent me back to some childhood superhero wannabe thing or what, but
yeah. Well, not nice on the fire. Are you insuring all this stuff? Because that's a hell of a lot of collecting.
No, it's like it is what it is. Start over if something happened to this one.
Well, half the fun is the collecting.
Yeah, indeed. All right.
Just need the time. That's the problem. All the toys, not enough time.
Exactly. Yep. Well, Nikki, today we're going to be doing a little of the ultimate Tanzu demo, or Tanzu Platform and Data Intelligence demo. This is some things from Explore this year. Actually, specifically, a pretty popular booth at the Tanzu stations. So Dan has been working on a pretty exhaustive suite of showcasing, the power of the platform and all the data suite, data intelligence products together. Working together as one, so to speak. So that was the thought behind today. Now, Dan is our first time guest, so you know what we got to do, right?
That's right.
So Dan, tell everybody your first CF push or your first CF memory.
First CF memory is I was a marketing person for Greenplum and Hadoop. Back when they were starting to talk about Pivotal, and then when they rolled everything together, Richard Seroter, who now seems to run like half the world at Google now, he was my boss and sort of introduced me to Cloud Foundry and sent me off on my way to install it on Google Cloud and get it going, and got to play around with it a good bit there. So it was whirlwind introduction, but pretty eye-opening, I think, coming from the world of just seeing like how hard it is to get some of the data things and going and spun up. It was sort of fun just to get those applications. Now it's even more fun, right? Because I can build these vibe coded applications and throw them out there and get access to them from anywhere, and just a quick CF push. It's pretty fun.
So I've got to ask, when you were playing around with it as part of this, what was your oh shit moment? Holy crap, this is cool.
I think it was probably the bind, since I was sort of data oriented. It was probably the binding to the data stuff. So back then it's probably MySQL more than Postgres at that point. But yeah, just getting access to it that way, and know enough Spring to be dangerous, but I still know enough to be dangerous, and see how easy it just made that whole process of putting data into your application.
I agree with you. It's the one thing I think bind is not, that was revolutionary. It truly was, being able to connect to your services that easily, being able to utilize them with the application. It was revolutionary. We don't talk about it enough. The simple bind.
And a little bit of history trip. This is where actually back then, that's when myself and Dan's paths crossed. So that's 10 plus years ago, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Because you were
so
doing
here we are again. Yeah.
Stuff you were doing like the EMC build out, like pivotal ready architecture. You're doing something.
He's doing the data, the Green Plum.
I did Green Plum. This is on the DCA architecture team.
DCA,
data computing appliance. Yeah.
Nice.
And then pivotal ready architecture. Many other adventures along the way. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. If you remember Mike Goddard back in the day, he and I installed the very first DCA at a customer site.
Oh wow.
Like no instructions at all, right? Just
they were coming.
Here's a cabinet. Yeah, Keith had not gotten started yet. It's like, yeah, here's a cabinet. Like, go get this running.
Yeah, I loved PRA. That's a phrase I haven't heard in a while. Nick, when you were in your before time, did y'all start off with PRA? I know I did. Right, that was one of the things that we used was the pivotal ready architecture, and then you had the Cloud Foundry in a box with the whole rack.
Yeah, I think we predated that a little bit.
Okay,
and I remember when that came out, but we were already kind of like in motion, so to speak.
We're already doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, it was like, oh, that looks good, but like we're already in prod, so it is what it is. All right,
PRA is what got me started. That was a data center within a data center. That's how we sold it to the company, right? This is a data center within a data center, and our team can control everything. All you need to do is give us access into the network. We'll handle everything else. And it was awesome. I mean, it really streamlined things. It streamlined operations. Cloud Foundry got code out there, but PRA helped us, build the infrastructure that was needed to do that and manage it all ourselves. And we did it with like a team of 3.
Yeah. And we're still here. Yeah. Myself and Owen Kelleher, both originals on that. We're still here. Yeah.
Nice.
In a different company, but we're still here. Yes.
Yeah. It's been a journey.
Yeah. Yeah. We were commiserating on time spent or time lost, maybe. But I hit at the end of last month, I hit 25 years in companies that have basically rolled into Broadcom at this point. So EMC to Pivotal to VMware to Broadcom.
It's the universe trying to tell you something, Dan. You should have just started.
That's a long time, especially these days, right? If I look at people's LinkedIn, it's like 2 years, 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah.
Like mine is a bunch of completely unrelated jobs, but all in the same companies.
Well, I'm excited. So, I'm not surprised that Tanzu was one of the most, sought after booths at VMware. But I'm excited. Nick's been telling me about this demo. I can't wait to see this thing.
Well, to quote the virtual speaking crew, I think it's one of the coolest booth demos they saw. So
nice.
We'll get into it, right?
Which maybe has never been said about the Tanzu demos.
Yeah. This is the first for everything. Do you want me to pull up your screen, Dan, or how do you?
Yeah,
how do you
go ahead, and then
Okay.
I'll sort of give a little background on it first, and sort of how it came to be. All right. So the whole thing sort of started out as a learning project because I started hearing about RAG and how to get these documents into your AI and get access to this other information. So I started building all that out, and then about the same time they wanted to have a demo for our VP's session on the main stage. One of the interesting things that we actually call that a demo, but it's rarely ever a live demo. But I wanted to actually build out what we talked about so that we could show it in the booth. So we just pushed people to the booth, and then if they wanted to see what she talked about, then we could show it. So started down that path, and then Ivan, one of the PMs here on the data side, wrote a blog about this fake company, Insurance MegaCorp. And so I'm like, that's sort of cool. We'll pick up on that theme, and then we'll change things a bit and see if we can weave this all into a single story. So what I did, the demo has two distinct paths, but we'll start on this telemetry demo path. So
fancy.
What I did, so this is why it's the most exciting demo because people see this on a big screen and they're like, they walk over and go, oh, okay, moving dots, that's cool.
Yep.
And then they start asking questions. So
in neon colors. Oh yeah, I can imagine this is just beautiful on a big screen.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to simulate here is, and actually I'm doing a video of this, and I've made some AI commercials for it. So you probably all get advertisements for the app to install on your cell phone from the insurance companies, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, install this, get a safe driver discount of 10% or whatever, right? So I basically wanted to build out that whole infrastructure, what it would look like at a much smaller scale, obviously. So I started with this, the far left here, the telematics generator. So what this is a application that uses a open route API. So if I look at what that means, right, I can give it addresses, and it's going to kick out a turn-by-turn navigation between those two addresses.
Sorry, Dan, just want to bump it up a little bit. Sorry, just for those.
Yeah. Maybe. There we go. Is it better?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So I can give it so this is like a certain drive around Atlanta. So it's from this person's driveway to their office. So I did that for some number of drivers, and then automate that process so that they drive like to work and back, and then usually one trip during the middle of the day. So these cars are moving around constantly as this thing runs, and they're kicking out the JSON files with GPS coordinates, the speed they're going, vertical height of a cell phone in the car, basically like 20 different telemetry values that are coming out of this. So that's basically representing and simulating the cell phones in the cars. And then I feed that into RabbitMQ running on Tanzu Platform. Mm-hmm. And we use an exchange here. So what an exchange does in Rabbit terms is lets you take one input and split to some number of outputs. So in this case, I'm sending one of those outputs into HDFS, or an HDFS sync, which basically pulls out of Rabbit and dumps to HDFS. So that's the Tanzu data lake. And so it's creating these Parquet files with all that telemetry data. It's just all that raw JSON data getting dumped directly to HDFS. So that's your long-term terabytes of storage of all this stuff. The other path is this events processor, which is a really quick check of things like G-force events. So it's going to recognize like a crash. So if you have an accident, this picks it up So if I do, if I go back to this, I can actually trigger accidents. If we come back, this will take a couple seconds, but it should increment those in a minute. I'll give it a couple seconds. Anyway, so it's going to find accidents, and if it recognizes an accident, then it's going to put it back into a different queue, and then that queue is going, or that exchange is going to send to two different locations. So one is this log sync, and which basically I'm representing something like a SMS service or something. So on those same apps, if you have a wreck, you'll get a text pretty quickly that says, "Oh, you had an accident. Are you okay?" Okay, yeah, now these all incremented. And then the other path is JDBC, and that's going directly into Greenplum. So we're going to record all those accidents as well. And so all this is running with Spring Cloud Data Flow, or Tanzu Data Flow now, I guess I should call it by its proper name.
We have many names.
We have many names. Yeah, my UI's a bit slow on that guy. Well, anyway, so that's this Tanzu Data Flow running on platform and Rabbit running on platform. So we'll see all the HCFS sync, the telemetry processor, all this running on the platform. And then once we get to Greenplum, now Greenplum can use the technology it has called PXF, which lets you basically query external data like it's an internal table to the database. And you can query like S3, HDFS, different formats, CSV files, and basically query those and do joins, whatever, just like it's internal data. So I'm using that, and based on that, on the data in the JSON from the telemetry, taking that and I'm doing a logistic regression inside using MADlib, which is the machine learning libraries that are built into Greenplum. And so I run this logistic regression and give all these drivers a safe driver score. So from an insurance company perspective, this score is what's used to calculate that discount, whether you get it or not. Or potentially if you're a high-risk driver, which means, hey, you're speeding most of the time or you're using your phone a lot, then you're probably not going to qualify for a discount.
Or you might install this app on your phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And so they know when you're driving, and they can tell things like you may not know it, but there's a vertical, there's like the altimeter, I think, in your phone tells you at all times like how high your phone is, right? So I started playing around with this. You can actually tell like when somebody has their phone up.
Oh, versus not. Yeah.
Or versus in a stable location. So you could say,
you just scared the crap out of everybody that's installed this app. Wait a minute, they're catching.
Hold on, I need to go.
I would never install. Yeah, I would never install these safe driver apps.
Yeah.
Wait, this app gets me a discount. I'll go ahead and install that. That's awesome. Wait, it can tell when I'm using my phone.
Wait, I had an accident and they
uninstall. And
the insurance company's telling me I was on my phone, and I'm trying to argue against it, but
it's not working. Not official, unpractical, or potentially practical advice, I guess, of what personal, to do, what not
personal
to do.
Advice. Yeah,
personal, unofficial.
Personal, I will never, but I might have a tendency to speed, so it's not in my best interest maybe to install it.
Well, I just heard a rush of people rush out to their cars to install their phone mount up on the ceiling of their car.
Yeah, it's just always there.
Yeah, I wasn't using my phone. It's up there. See?
Yeah, funny story. I was driving to the office yesterday, and there were 4 motorcycle policemen, and I was watching them as they're coming up behind me, and we're in traffic, and they're driving real slow in between the rows of cars, and they get right up behind the driver's or the passenger side window, and they on the motorcycle, and they would peek in.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just checking to see if you're using your phone. And then they were flipping the lights, pulling you over, and there was cars on the side of the road that were writing the tickets. They were just,
Oh, wow.
it was so funny to see them like sneaking up and getting the people. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I see it here the whole time in Ireland. Yeah.
All right, so this basically represents that whole end-to-end process, constantly running. And so then another interesting story with this is when Nick and I were demoing it at Explorer, it was getting so much interest. He sort of made a comment, "Hey, it would be cool to have this, like this type of UI for other demos."
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I externalized all the configuration of this, and I have a project, and basically you just define a bunch of JSON. Is it JSON? I don't know what format I put it in. Anyway, basically you define these configuration files, and you can build this GUI with a configuration file and show it.
Yeah, because that was my next at. This is beautiful. But what were you using to build this? I know this wasn't built in. So that's a good. Is that in its own little repo that you're doing for people to be able to do this?
Yeah, I've got.
That's just another app on CF there, right?
Yeah. It's just another app on CF, but I like the demo one is an app, and then I separated it out, and it's called this diagram designer, and then so you go in and you define like that telemetry processing is this file that creates it. So it's positions of the icons. You notice it had a little status light if things were up and down or things happening there. Like I defined what actuator to hit to get that green, yellow, or red. When the grid underneath it has 2 entries in it, and you define like, hey, here's the URL to hit and what value to grab to display there. And then how to connect to it. Do you want particles to show? What speed, what density, what color do you want them to go? And then handles. So a handle is basically the dots on these things. These are the handles. So you define input and output handles and how many you want. And so you just define that file and away you go. And then one interesting thing with the AI coding tools, if I go out to this and I look at my README, I think it's still in here. Yeah, so if you go in here, it tells you exactly how to lay it out in these different sections. So what I did for another app was basically pass this README to the tool and then sketched out in like Google Slides just some boxes with lines between them, and said, build the configuration file to look like this. And it kicked out the file for me, and I plugged it into the tool and it popped right up. Had a couple little tweaks to make to fix it, but it worked perfectly.
Yeah, I don't want to derail. It is an awesome demo, but I'm impressed with the designer. I'm actually looking at this thinking, how could I do this to make basically a architecture diagram?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did use that on, so I was doing a presentation in Explorer, and I was showing basically MCP server, client, and app, this whole architecture. So I basically just defined it and showed it like this instead of showing a slide.
Oh, Dan, we're going to talk because, yeah, I'm seeing architecture diagrams building in my head. I took note of this is awesome. Does it take away from anything else you did, but wow.
This is what makes it interesting, because otherwise, like after years of toiling away doing Greenplum demos at conferences where you're saying, oh, watch me do this select statement
right,
so that I can use this machine learning library. Yeah. It's like, that's just not interesting.
Yeah.
But to show how you can use Greenplum in this kind of architecture, now it's getting a little more interesting. I think one of the interesting things that came out of this is you don't really I can talk about the individual products, but I don't have to show any of it. Like I can show you Rabbit is running and has different incoming message rates and everything, and that my HDFS sync is obviously needs to be reset. But that part of it doesn't really matter, right? It's how you combine all these things into an architecture.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what's going to catch people's attention. If you want to dive into the weeds with you, then you can do that. But, people's eyes are going to start crossing when you start showing them RabbitMQ dashboards and,
Yeah, we had two people that wanted to buy this tool, which is interesting in itself. All right, so then
here's my prediction, Dan. You're going to take this, you're going to make this a product, people are going to start buying it, and then it's going to get acquired by Broadcom.
I've been creating some fun tools. You guys, Nick and Keith, are the beneficiaries of all my, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
All right, so then go ahead.
I think Dan is the 100x engineer in the vibe coding landscape for sure at this point.
Yeah, I'm definitely figuring out like all the tips and tricks you need to get the code assistant tools to do exactly what you want. And
well, that's a good point, Dan. Probably for the audience as well, is what tool, high level, what tools did you use? Because there's so many out there at the moment. Which did you find used, and which do you find you learned, oh, this is better than this other one for what I was trying to do?
Yeah, well, all the apps are Spring Boot, and I use pretty much entirely Claude Code.
That was my question. How much of this was vibed? How much of it was just
it's not, well, I'll say 90% of the code is vibe code. If
nice,
90 plus, probably 95. Now, I really start to consider myself more of a architect though, because I say, all right, I want to do it this way and do this way, and then so it's sort of a back and forth to get it to go the way you want it. But
did you find any like tips and tricks when you were going through the vibe coding session? Did you start laying stuff out in MD files for Claude, or did you just have conversation? Was this just conversational?
I tend to try to write up like everything I wanted to do and all the libraries and versions I wanted to use ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
But I may use Gemini or ChatGPT to help me, or even Claude to help me write that as well. So it's like, all right, here's what I want to build, and then sort of conversationally go back and forth on an architecture and have it incorporate all the things I want, make sure it's locking down the versions of the libraries I want, and then say, all right, output a markdown file that you would pass to a code assistant. And then I take that and I'll drop that into the directory with my Claude MD, and then tell Claude to get started and go. And I typically make that, I tell it to do a phased plan, so I have good stopping points and checking points. So it'll do multiple phases and multiple steps within that phase. And then I even wrote a little tool that would take that and then turn that into like GitHub issues.
Yeah.
Because for a while I was playing with Cursor and having it so from your phone you can point it at a GitHub and a GitHub issue and say, go implement this or fix this. And so if I did the whole application as like the step-by-step as GitHub issues, then I could basically from my cell phone write the whole application. So like I wrote one demo almost completely on the airplane on the way out to Vegas. I think I wrote basically this UI on the way out to Vegas on the airplane.
Just through Git?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, the world is changing.
Yeah, now I'm going to do a shameless plug. Imagine, Dan, if all you had to do is when you get those GitHub issues, you were using something that used a cloud development environment where you could just tag the GitHub issue and say, hey, nothing else. It'll just pull in the issue, bring up a workspace and start coding that for you. Imagine that. You might know a guy that can talk to you about that as well.
Well, then we could take that and you have a platform and just runs it, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And this whole data suite platform intelligence. Yeah. Working on it. We got to make that connection one day, Nikki. We're here.
We do. Yeah.
All right. So then the second part of the demo was was really, I guess, my starting point was that RAG pipeline. So this keeps going in degraded state for some reason, but just another UI to show the piece parts of what I would consider more of an enterprise ready RAG implementation. So a lot of the demos for RAG, and admittedly we do a lot of them in our SA org, are sort of local RAG. So let's click import and import a single document and then show that I can do a chat based conversation with that information in a document. But in this case, I did again use Tanzu Platform, Tanzu Data Flow, and then I wrote some modules to do all the processing. So there's a HDFS watcher, so I can drop all my PDF files into an HDFS directory, and then that HDFS watcher will just monitor that. And then once if it sees files, then it'll send out a message to Rabbit saying, hey, here's a new file. It's at this location, go. And then text processor is sitting on that same queue and it's watching and says, oh, I've got a new message. There's a new file. I should process it. So it's going to take it and turn that PDF into raw text and send another message out and says, hey, there's a bunch of raw text at this location. You should do something about it. And then embed processor gets that, takes the raw text, does all the vectorization, stores that, and then signals complete. So I say more enterprisey because I can run this Tanzu Data Flow and Tanzu Platform. I can scale these things up because I'm using, and that's why I used Rabbit. So I could do 20 text processors and 20 embed processors. And since they're using Rabbit on that back end, right, I can scale that number up because all they're doing is pulling the locations off the queue. So there's no worry about it's them stepping on each other. So then the net result of that is I have this Insurance MegaCorp website and then my chat interface. And what I'm actually, let me see if I had that. Where's the? So I have these basically PDF files that have all this insurance information. So it's the standard document you get from your insurance company. It's got all kinds of legalese. Mm-hmm. And what I'm doing is vectorizing all that and then allowing you to chat query the information in your policy. Now, my latest addition last week was I added Tanzu Gemfire to this. So I have a Gemfire vector store cache in front of Postgres. And so when you log in, it goes out to Postgres and says, hey, customer number 1,000,002 or whatever. I don't have any comments in it. So 100, whatever, 1,000,002 logged in. Go pull all their policy information into Gemfire and then use it as your vector store. And so
what performance improvement did you see going with Gemfire?
Honestly, it's not like at the scale I'm doing it at. Right? It's like
right.
1, 2, 10 users. It's not that much.
Gotcha.
But that's sort of expected because right now, the time to pass results back to an LLM and get those results back, right? That sort of really outweighs any big gains I'm going to get. I mean, there is some improvement, not much. But if you had 20,000 users, concurrent users, then maybe you might see it more.
And then with Gemfire, you have all the regional like replication and stuff available too, like the
yep.
It's a little bit more.
So then I have like basically So then I basically have my cache statistics page, and we were laughing about it in the pre-show. Like my cache hit rate should be 100% because when you log in, I'm warming the cache with all your policy documents, so there should be nothing that's not in there. Mm-hmm. Or nothing, it has to go back. Because what happens now if I go out and clear this cache, it'll look at, see if it gets a cache hit from Gemfire. If not, then it goes and pulls it from Postgres and puts it in the cache.
Very cool. Well, yeah, and the 2 at scale, this would probably allow you to not overwhelm your Postgres database too, his Gemfire will be able to offload a lot of that traffic.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
Wonder how many people that are working for insurance companies are going to see this and say, why do we need to do anything? We'll just take what you've got and scale it.
But they'll need they'll need some Tanzu Platform or Tanzu Data Intelligence.
They absolutely will. Yeah.
Right?
You know, a guy, you know someone.
And I think most of them, like maybe not on the RAG side, maybe some of them are getting there. Like on this telematics piece, they're all pretty much doing this. This is sort of a known pattern. But applying a known pattern to Tanzu Data Intelligence and Tanzu Platform was my goal. Right? How do all these things work together?
Yeah, I'll be honest. This is the first time I ever saw any of this stuff all working together. Like I've never seen a demo, but with all the pieces, really. I don't know about.
Yeah, it's always been very separate. Right? It's always been like Green Plum, Gemfire demos, and then there's been Tanzu Platform demos.
Yeah, we hear about end-to-end demos all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They rarely exist, to be honest. Right? A true end-to-end. This is like a full stack demo. This is customer all the way to database. This is showing you everything. I mean, this is a working application that includes just about, everything that a person would need to go in and do something. That's why I'm saying it'll be interesting to see people just come back and say, why? Dan's already built it for me. Give me platform. I'll give you an extra $100. Throw this application in with it.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I've been getting queries from other folks in the org, like, all right, my customer is healthcare or health sciences. Like, what can we do sort of like this for them? So that's sort of the next phase is figuring out how to do the same sort of demo with some other
workflow,
and like.
Well, I mean, off the top of my head, it feels like you're just going to you're going to be changing the JSON what the data is coming in, right? From insurance to health. You're probably removing the events, or you're doing hospital visits or something instead of events. But I mean, it doesn't feel like it would be something hard for y'all to kind of pivot this over to.
No, I could pivot this one fairly easily, but I think they're starting to say, all right, this end-to-end thing seems sort of cool. Like, do we have anything specific to something they might do? So,
seems sort of cool. But
that's fine. I like
awesome.
I like people to ask those kind of questions. So that's the questions I want them to be asking us.
And it's probably more like, what's the like real people user flow of said process, and how do we map that out type of thing, versus like, the tech behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Cool.
Well,
and I imagine one of the questions
demo all day.
Yeah, I imagine one of the questions you're going to get is, okay, we're an insurance company, but we still got stuff on mainframe, right? How are you going to pull stuff off of mainframe? Ooh.
Yeah, Broadcom has plenty of software to help with that.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Crushing it, right?
All the old CA stuff still around.
Yeah, I'm sure you could write syncs to pull data out of mainframe and then process it into Greenplum or vice versa, right? Yeah, like there's just, it's mainframe would be just like another data source, right? In this.
100%,
right?
100%.
Yeah. This feels like it could be something to help modernize. Well, I mean, Broadcom probably doesn't want to see a bunch of modernization off of mainframe, but it could be seen as a modernization effort. This could be something that could help do that for some of those mainframe applications that people are wanting to modernize.
Yeah. Or even you put I think a common pattern sometimes is putting, using, CF to deploy some CF front ends that are essentially APIs that interface with mainframes to interact with data too, as well. So
100%.
Do a little bit of that, wire them up to some of these other data services and kind of go from there.
Yep.
Without taking the full, the whole, trying to actually, replace whatever that mainframe app is, right? Because they haven't been touched in like 50 years. And it's like, is anybody still alive who knows how this works, type of thing. But yeah.
I was listening to it was Visa. It's on a podcast, and they were talking about replacing having people use vibe coding stuff to do JCL replacement and stuff as they're moving things off.
Mm-hmm.
I did an internship. This may date me. Back in college, where there's a bunch of JCL, and I was asking the engineers that have been there, like, what does this stuff do? And they're like, well, nobody actually writes JCL anymore. They just copy stuff that's been done before. and that was 30 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
So it's aged another 30 years.
Yeah, it feels like a niche, right? It feels like a niche, but the guys that still know mainframe.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Because it's still
you think of
it's
all
still
the
running
languages.
insurance and financial, right?
Oh,
Still
100%,
running.
100%.
Yeah.
Those guys are good too.
Yeah, I mean, mainframe's still probably running most of the world, or a piece of the Fortune 500. So for sure. The mainframe doesn't go down when US East 1 goes down and takes down the internet, right?
Oh, that's a whole other show. We could have a whole other show on that one.
Yeah. It was.
Did you see the? Did you see one of the smart mattress manufacturers somehow has some of their feature set is like online based, not just a web app where you can control like your thermostat, right? When like my Kobe thermostats, the web interface went down, but I could still control the thermostat. These beds apparently like got stuck in whatever position they were in. And you couldn't change them. So like, I was like, he's trying to sleep or something. His bed wouldn't change from like the sitting position.
I
saw that article.
East is down
or something. Yeah.
It's like, why would you build it so you couldn't have local state and control?
Does your bed not function unless it's connected to Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it was a connected bed. It had to be connected.
Why would you?
Horrible.
It's terrible.
I read that article, and it's amazing what we're seeing. That is cloud connected. And I think there's, and it doesn't mean that AWS is bad. Shit happens. This is computer stuff. But I think it does kind of expose a couple things. One, you got to quit asking, a lot of people that thought they were multi-region, HA, they are, but they found that they had a single region dependency because US East 1 is kind of the control plane. It's part of the control plane for AWS. That's why we saw such the impact. So that leads us back to something that we talk about on the show all the time: private versus public, doing a mix. Private cloud is still a thing. In some ways, I think it's better, but you can utilize public for cost reasons, HA reasons. But again, I think we're going to go down a rabbit hole. I could talk a whole show about what happened with US East 1.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Okay, but it is amazing that smart beds got bricked during that outage, right?
I would never buy a smart bed. No. But I'd get rid of that for sure. So I think too, weren't they overheating or something? Somehow like it was even worse. It was not only they got stuck in a weird position,
like the cooling function or something.
And they started overheating. Yeah. Bad times indeed.
That surprises me, Nick, that you wouldn't do a smart bed. I mean, you got the whole data center. I figure you'd just run your bed like a smart home appliance. Have it just scheduled.
I'll be honest. I didn't know there were smart beds. Maybe I'm just out of the loop here, but I didn't think.
I knew like the
internet connected bed to function.
I knew some of them had mine has an app that I can make it go up and down.
Yeah,
right.
But you don't have to have the app. It's just it has a controller too.
Yeah, what was it? Is it like 8 or something like a Sleep 8 or something? Those are smart beds. There's a couple different one of those, but they can cool you, they can heat you, they can tell you how good you slept. By the way, we've got one of those that kind of tells you how well you sleep. And when I'm traveling, my dog sleeps on my side of the bed. That little guy sleeps like a rock, man. He gets much better sleep scores than I do when I'm gone. I wish I could sleep like my dog.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to you, Dan, because I love this page, and I'm glad you're leaving it up. I'm seeing being able to do architecture diagrams with interest. I'm seeing a bunch of different things we could do. So you want to pair? You want to pair and try to do something cool?
Yeah, I'm always game to do something cool.
Okay, I misheard that. I know it's Friday evening. I was going, do you want a beer? Not pair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That goes with pairing. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't vibe code. I mean, that's the whole part of vibe coding. You're going to get a little drunk when you do it, right? So
you could do it all from the bar, just based on get messages, right? Get pulling PRs.
That's right.
I remember, our friend Oded. Remember, he did a CF push from his Apple Watch. Do you remember that one he did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Oded was on stage at VMware Explorer Israel yesterday, I think. Yeah. So Oded's been doing a lot of work, especially with his. He was on the show. His app, I think, his app got was on the main stage yesterday.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Give big props to Oded as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool.
I know. I think I said it before to the guys here, but like, I can't unsee EMC recover point if the old infrastructure crew, if you remember that. I every time I see this, we used to call them the ants, and just like if you use recover point, this is what we looked at. Where's my data going? But it's for those who, I don't know, is that even product still around? But yeah, it was an old product, good product, really good product.
I call them particles. Yeah, we had a bug on the first day where the Explorer, where like based on how many, the code was originally based on how many were visible at one time. It would say, all right, there's only supposed to be 5 visible, but at certain points, like only 1's visible. So it'd say, oh, I'm supposed to have 4 more. So basically every time if you imagine each of those paths as being a circle where the particles go back to the start, it would slowly add more and more to it until about, it took like 20, 30 minutes, Nick. And it's basically a stop.
It was like killing Chrome. Like,
yeah. So I got first night I fixed that so that it would destroy them when they went into the other side.
So your particles are actually representative of true data flow right now, or
they are not. Those are defined. Those are defined in the config file. Like,
all right, I was
how fast do you want them? Yeah, how fast do you want? I mean,
about that.
Yeah, I mean you could, but didn't think.
Then it just becomes just a moving line.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all about the particles.
Particles. And then you can add words to particles. So these particles actually say PXF.
Yeah. Well, now you can put emojis too, probably. Why not?
Yeah.
You can do all kinds of things. The possibilities of this are endless.
Yes.
So many things.
I can't wait to play with this. I'm going to have a moving architecture diagram because of Dan.
There you go.
Yep. Do I have to put like a little copyright symbol at the bottom, courtesy of Dan? I'll do that. I have no problems doing that whatsoever. Every talk I do when I show this, when I finally get it built, by the way, Dan Baskette, he's the one that helped us. Shout out.
Well, I would probably have to put copyright Tanzu because the other funny story, I had a different version of this. It was more, it didn't really have the framing around it. Mm-hmm. And I went and in Claude, I screenshot Tanzu Hub, what it looks like, and then passed that picture in my code in and said, hey, make this GUI look like this picture, and then got all this framing and stuff out so that it looks like Hub. So when I had there were actual PMs at Explorer like, I haven't seen that screen before.
Well, when I first looked at this, that's what I thought it was. I was like, holy crap, they've done a lot with Hub since the last time we talked about Hub. Man, those Tanzu guys are on it. But all right, that makes more sense to me now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wrote another app that I was showing Nick and Keith earlier that I went with the same Hub look and feel. That's maybe gives me some consistency between demos.
Yeah.
Now I can see people coming back and saying, "Hey, we bought Hub. Where is this picture? I don't see this picture."
We'll just push an app and then you'll get it.
That's right. Here's the app. Here's the repo.
Yeah, this is my other one. Yeah, so same look and feel.
Yeah.
MCP servers. Yeah. Dan is, I feel like every day you have a new app.
Yeah, this one's like 60, 70% done, but it's basically an MCP gateway, because when I change from like Cursor to Claude Code or Gemini, like Gemini Code, I get tired of like inputting all the MCP server information over and over and over again between the tools. So this one, I can define it in this one, and it acts as a client. And then I'm using Spring Cloud Gateway in between, and then it's an MCP server on the front side. And so my idea is I can just point my Claude Code at this, and then it'll expose like all the tools. So this is like, I just added the GitHub MCP server to it. So all the tools here show up. So if I add more servers, you get more tools, and then you just basically define for your app, your coding tool, you just define one MCP server, and you do a bunch on the other side.
Nice. Very cool. One MCP server to rule them all. Right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And what I love most about
a gateway, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think what I love most about this is that with all the talk of like AI assistance and vibe coding, and a lot of people just crushing it and bad mouthing it on the back end, Dan has come in and shown I had a need, and look at what I built with vibe coding. You built something truly, it's pretty, it works, it's nice. And you built it because you were the domain expert here. I know what I needed, but I let AI write the code. I think that's a good lesson here.
Yep.
Now, how long did this all take you to build, Dan?
This, where I'm at right now, I did last night. Like,
there you go.
2 hours.
So a lot of those people that are coming back and saying, hey, AI vibe coding sucks, it's horrible. I think for a lot of people, it's not going to write the perfect code every time, but if you're willing to put a little bit of time into it, it's going to work. People that are really ragging on it are no pun intended, but people that are really down on it, they're just not trying it, because you can do really cool things.
Or tried it once or twice and it didn't do. And you also find the models, like if you really want to get into it, spend $100 and do the $100 Claude.
Yeah.
Plan.
Or they tried it like a year and a half ago, right? When it first came out, this sucks. Well, guess what? A year and a half ago is like the 1800s in AI land, right? Timelines.
Yeah. That was just last month. That was the 1800s was last month.
Yeah.
Actually.
Claude's head and shoulders on the code above the other ones. OpenAI Codex stuff is, I don't know, if I was ranking them 1 to 10, like 10 being the best, Claude Code's 10, Codex is probably 7. Maybe Gemini is 3, 2, sometimes a 1. It's really not good.
I haven't used it for a lot of code generation, but I've got to give Gemini some props. They're stepping up their game, because if you were ranking them 1 to 10, I would have put Gemini like -7.
Oh yeah. I'm being very generous still, though. It's just not good.
Okay.
Like it just does bad things. like I told it something simple the other day. It was like, because sometimes I'll just use Gemini or something outside when I was not paying for the $100 Claude. I was paying for like the $30. So you have to be pretty judicious about where you're using your tokens. So for menial tasks, I was going over to Gemini and just letting it do it. And so I was like, hey, I've got these 20 markdown files in this directory. Consolidate these into a single file and with like nice headers. So and then just get rid of all the other ones. And said, okay, I can do that. So it did it. But then its final step was rmstar.md. So it deleted all the markdown files, including the one it just did. And it's like, oh, I can get that back. Just give me the repo where you pushed it to. I'm like, well, I didn't have time to push it because you deleted it right after you created it.
Yeah.
So it just does. Claude does not do things like that.
So I'm with you. Claude's my favorite. Nick, Keith, I mean, you guys favorite models?
I like to use my local models just because I've invested so much in these GPUs. So
so your local model, so you don't have a favorite, nothing standing out to you as this is the one that I go to by default?
Like the Quen Coder on local is usually kind of like the go-to locally. Destral was getting some decent results as well. So like a lot of it's Klein with local model. However, I think Cursor and Claude Code are probably, obviously probably the better route if you have those plans as well. So
yeah, for me it was Claude, though I jump sometimes to GPT-5. It's
Codex is good. It got a lot better.
Yeah, Claude has the edge though. For me, I found Claude has the edge over GPT-5, but it's close.
And 5, like when they first came out with 5, they showed. I remember watching the announcement videos, and they were showing all these cool stuff they're doing. So, finally they've caught up. It's gonna be great. So I started using it, and it's like, no, it's not great. And then they brought out, I mean, it's fairly recently when they sort of announced Codex, right, the more specific model, and it does much better. Like the original 5 they showed on stage, they were like, have it build a GUI to do this. It built this just like nice GUI like Claude's been doing. And then I tried it, and it gave me like a 1992 Unix style
MS Paint.
It was ugly.
Yeah.
But what they didn't tell you is their demo was a recorded demo that they polished up and probably took them 2-3 weeks to get done. But
and they were probably using the Codex model as opposed to the one they released initially.
Gotcha. I'm a big fan. I got this. So I see, generally like research, I will go to GPT. I'll use them. And I'll, I've got this workflow now where I use Perplexity to find links and everything I want. I feed that into GPT, and then I polish it all up with Claude. Claude's my go-to. But I'm not doing as much coding as you guys. I haven't.
Yeah. Because we're using Perplexity. Is there a browser type thing to feed into GPT or no?
I haven't. The last quote unquote AI browser I really liked, it was Arc, and then they kind of went away with it, and then they came back. And did they come back? I want to say they came back for a little bit, but I'm not really seeing maybe I'm just not using it right. I'm not seeing an AI enabled browser being all that useful to me.
I mean, it's got a ways to go. We were all trying the Atlas stuff when it came out the other day. I gave it, said, hey, order me some bread, milk, and eggs from Kroger. And it did it, but it has to stop so many times along the way that I don't know that it was that much easier. Like,
either that or you end up with a pallet full of eggs.
Yeah. It's like, because you have to log in. It doesn't do that stuff for you yet.
Yeah. It's like the Silicon Valley reference where son of Anton ordered lunch, and they ended up ordering like pallets and pallets of ground beef because put him on the task of find cheap hamburgers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a kind of funny how relevant that show still is, how old it is now. Type of thing.
I've never watched it. I need
every
to.
day.
Oh my God! You need to watch it. You need to like stop everything in your life.
You will feel sane because everything you've experienced over your career.
Yeah,
it might be a 5-second sequence on that show, but like every experience you've had will be represented on that show.
All right,
you need to watch it, and you need to report
back.
In fact,
one of the events they were making fun of in one episode was the name of the Pivotal. I think it was Pivotal at that point. Pivotal, like sales kickoff. We had signs up around San Francisco, and on the show later on, they were like making fun of this. Some company was having this event. It was that name. So like, I wonder if that's where they got that.
Well, I guess that for our listeners, if you haven't seen Silicon Valley, you should watch it and let us know how you like it. But I think Nikki has some homework to do for sure.
I got some homework. I'll get started. It's
Nick, you're not sleeping tonight. It's brilliant binge TV.
Oh,
it is.
yeah, it's
and you were going to be crying with laughter.
And my wife is like non-technical, and she loved the show, and like she doesn't get it to the level that we would get it because we understand some of these references, but it's still funny for someone that's not in that space.
Spaces are tabs. Yeah, that was a good one.
I imagine. Just from y'all talking, this is going to be like Games of Thrones. I refused to watch Game of Thrones when that was out because everybody was into it and watching it. And then finally, when everybody quit talking about it, we decided to watch it. And then it consumed like the next month of my time. That's all we watched every night, like 3 or 4 episodes. And it was like, okay, this is true binging. So I'm a little scared I'm going to get to the same thing when I get into Silicon Valley.
You're in for a treat. Let me just say.
All right.
This, right?
Yeah.
All right. So pop quiz here in a month or so about, Silicon Valley references.
What happened on season 3, episode 5?
Yeah. Not a hot dog.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many things. Okay, I'm gonna rewatch it too. I think that's awesome. Yeah. All right. Okay, we are at the hour. I know Keith, you probably got to run here soon. But any closing thoughts? Anyone? Any of our Dan, Keith, Nikki? We got any closing thoughts for our audience? Or are we good?
I just think look at what can be done with Vibe Code. It's
yeah.
That is an amazing example.
Literally mind-blowing. Yeah.
Now, a question for y'all is Tanzu showing up? Are y'all going to KubeCon this year, or are you not going to KubeCon? I'm guessing no.
No, we're not good.
Okay. All right.
We're all just Cloud Foundry, man.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a VMware presence, but there will not be a Tanzu presence.
They don't want the competition.
I think Ram and Chris from CFF will be there. Nikki,
okay.
Are you going to be there? Are you going?
Yeah, we'll be there. So we'll be there. We're going to go to reInvent as well. So we'll be at reInvent. But yeah, I always wonder if you guys are going to show up at KubeCon because, yeah, it's frankly a better alternative.
Yeah. Sorry, you have to go to reInvent. It's
getting to take the message. He's going to explore Las Vegas while I'm working, so it all works out.
I don't deal well with that many people in that space.
Well, I don't know. When's the last time you've been to Vegas?
I mean, yes, it was a lot less crowded, but I'm talking about just the amount of people there for reInvent. It's just like wall to. We're in the vendor area. It's just wall to wall people. It's like, get me out of here.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
All right. Well, I've got the like and subscribe pillow this week, so I didn't forget that. If you like the show so far and this far, you should like and subscribe. And for the podcast version of this show this week, you should check out the YouTube version to see Dan's awesome demo because we can't say enough words to describe how awesome it is.
Oh, it is so pretty.
Yeah.
Just eye-catching.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you hear somebody say that an application is just pretty?
Yeah.
Good job, Dan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good.
I'm going to go to bed tonight dreaming of architecture diagrams, and I'm going to do a design.
You're not, Nikki. You're staying up while watching binging on Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Silicon Valley, report back.
Gotta find time. Got to do both.
You're on airplanes a lot.
I am on airplanes a lot. So I can download some of the Silicon Valley. I'll hit those on airplanes and in the hotel.
Yep.
And then spend my work days doing architecture diagrams with Dan's new design tool.
Very cool. All right. Do we know how we close the show?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. We'll do a 3, 2, 1. CF bye.
Yeah, bye.